Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Kill 10 Rats. Welcome to Balrum, a sort of extraordinary episode where I'm gonna have a look at this whole building system here while rambling pointlessly, the occasion being, well, you know, me rambling pointlessly usually, but now more than 1,000 people would like to listen to me, apparently. Yes, indeed. This is sort of a needs must sort of 1,000 subscriber special video, since right now I don't really have the means to do anything else. I'll explain why in a bit. But yeah, I'll just, I'll be sending up a shorter video for the general purposes that don't really watch the Balrum LP at the moment, but it'll sort of link back to this one. And then if you really want to listen to me ramble on, this is where you can do it to your heart's content. And I'm taking this off the regular Balrum playlist, or rather I'll put it in there, but I'll take it out of sequence and not make it actually part of the LP, just because it's going to be a bit of a, I guess a bit of a mess, because I'm not sure how this building actually works, and I am probably going to make a horrible hatchet job of it. Now, for a start, how are we gonna wanna do this? Where are we gonna start, actually? Oh, we actually have no nails whatsoever. So let's see if we can find those to begin with, and then maybe take it from there. But yeah, it's a bit of a strange situation for me to reach this whole 1,000 subscriber milestone, and that's a pretty big one for me personally, because that number is just getting to the point where I'm like, okay, this is a bit of a large crowd of people, even though they may not all be active or watching, but still, it's somewhat insane to me that I've somehow managed to motivate about 1,000 people to hit that subscribe button for a time. And yeah, the weird thing for me is, of course, having not really been present for large sequences of it. So I would call it a involuntary hiatus, maybe. Sort of made it yeah, it's like I gained half of those while I wasn't even here, generally speaking. So half of you guys just found me while I wasn't uploading anything, which I feel makes this a bit of a undeserved sort of growth that, yeah, I'll take it, I'm not gonna complain, but be that as it may, it happened. So let me just see, I think I'm gonna use this as a basis to start building on, maybe? And just, because we have located it quite close to the actual lake here, which I think is quite nice. So maybe we'll turn this into some sort of corridor, and maybe we can actually... How do you actually delete something, I wonder? There was a clear option somewhere, wasn't there? I'm not entirely sure. You can select the object. While building, will right-click on anything to remove it. Okay, so if I want to remove this, I'm gonna... Right... No? Okay, that worked. Okay. Because I think we're gonna sort of remove all of this here. I actually wanted to remove the bed, but okay. Yeah, let's put another wall down here. And... Wow, it's getting dark. Right. So, how do I want this to look, actually? Let's see, Jax, why don't you go over here? And I'll just figure this out. Maybe I'll have a corner piece here, and then have some more space here. I don't want to make the rooms too small, but I think I want a lot of storage as well. How does this work? Oh, this is a corner piece again, so if I put this, then this is not gonna look brilliantly. I think I need this one here to make it a little even. And then maybe we can put wall like so. Yeah. I'm actually not sure what these corner pieces. There's probably a better way to do these, and it's right down here. Yeah. Okay, so if I delete this and put this in, it looks a little better. Yeah, that works. Alright. I think these chests are gonna have to go, but they are filled to the brim with junk, so I can't really make them go away yet, unless I do some copious inventory management, and I'd rather make sure I have the appropriate, what do you call it? Infrastructure laid down first. This is a bit of a weird one because I think it operates on the assumption that you sort of hide the... Yeah, I think you sort of use the walls to hide the fact that you're building into the... Yep, I think that's how it goes. The wall, the perspective is sort of cheating that way. Yeah, I think this is how you're supposed to do this, and then you're supposed to use these things for the corner pieces, I guess. And this then looks like there's floor everywhere, even though there isn't. Alright. I'm terrible at this. You may agree. Right, so yeah, I'm really mostly gonna be using this to build the house, because I don't think I'm all that interesting to know things about, and I really find the whole idea of imagining some sort of FAQ type deal, because I don't really want to ask you guys to submit questions. That's going to be embarrassing as hell. But it's sort of getting around to figuring out what you might be wanting to know about me. I don't think there is much for me to say. I think I may have mentioned it at some point that I am German originally. And by originally mine, I still am, but I used to be too. And yeah, I lived in Ireland for a while, and that's why I sound a little odd at times, and why my TH doesn't work all the time. But, and why I occasionally say but instead of but, because it just happens. I'm sorry. Right. I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Maybe this is going to be an entrance door. How would I make a door? There needs to be walls on both sides, I could imagine. So let's do one of these, maybe? And then we'll find the door. There's a door. And there it goes. Okay. Not bad. And we can put doors in here as well. We can't put a door here? Oh, because we're standing on it. Okay, that makes sense. I wonder if there's some sort of archway or something that we can put in place, but I don't think so. Where was I? Oh, right, yeah, talking nonsense about myself. So, I actually didn't want to start one of these channels because I didn't think YouTube needed another one. There is just it's just an abundance of these, and I figured it was always really hard to get noticed and to get it off the ground, but ultimately I figured it wouldn't really matter, so I did it anyway, because I found the initial recordings I did to be incredibly fun to do, and even if no one watched, I wouldn't really be all that fussed about it. I was just like, okay, well, I enjoy making these, and I sort of wondered what the recipe could be to get a channel off the ground, and initially I was sort of planning to do my first intention was to let's play Divinity, before the enhanced edition was announced, Divinity Original Sin. And in a way that's somewhat hilarious because the second subscriber I got was one of the developers of the games that I did choose as my first to Let's Play, which was Dex. And he had worked on Divinity Original Sin, so that was somewhat hilarious that was my intention, and that's how it turned out. That basically the second person to subscribe to me was a dev already, which was not according to my expectations at all. Like I figured I'd do shots in the dark for a long time before anything sort of exciting happened, and it sort of blindsided me a little. But yeah, it's a fun activity, and I've been watching Let's Play since I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, about that time. I couldn't even really tell you what the first Let's Play was that I saw. I can probably tell you that the first Let's Play channel I ever subscribed to was Very X's channel, because I remember wanting to follow a Blood Bowl Let's Play of his that was about a Nurgle team, and he gave the Nurgle team roster the names of other Let's Players, and I ended up checking out all of them and subscribing to like most of them because they are all pretty awesome. Some of them not active anymore, but they're all pretty great, and at the time that was a nice entry point, just basically happening upon a series that I ended up enjoying immensely, and using that as a sort of jumping off point to find others. That was kind of nice. Right, we're out of nails, so I'm gonna port back to the northwest. I actually need to get ourselves closer to the village, and then just sell some stuff and go shopping. I think there's actually a chance that we can create the nails ourselves, because we have that much iron, and I don't think you need the actual smithing skill to do it, so that's something I'd be willing to give a try. Just need to take the walk back. But yeah, I may have touched upon this, I think in some other video when I mentioned SWOTR, and that game was somewhat close to my heart because I'd spent some time with the company that made it. I may have mentioned that, and that's not actually BioWare though. I did never directly work on SWOTR or BioWare. I was working for the other one, the one that you're gonna hate, and I would say, looking at the past, rightly so. EA, Electronic Arts, looking at current business practices, I can't really say anymore what's going on there, but from my perspective, you know, this is like the Anakin Skywalker defense. From my perspective, everyone else is evil. No, like from my perspective, having been on the inside, it's not Satan, and I still have my soul to the best of my knowledge. So yeah, that was something I did for a while, mostly doing tech supporty things and working on the German market there. Pretty cool. Like having a desk in front of a 5 meters tall painted Commander Shepard is kind of nice. But as things go, I changed jobs somewhat recently, actually. Again, had held one other position since EA, but recently I changed jobs again, which is why I have this predicament right now that I can't really do much else here, because I'm in a hotel for around 6 weeks while I work myself into the position and find an apartment and get set up and everything, and the hotel has seen it fit to block the port range that Steam needs. The bastards. So I can't really get online on Steam. I can only play in offline mode, and that really breaks a lot of the games that I have for some reason. I don't know what Steam is doing there, but yeah, this is sort of the linchpin where I'm a little biased maybe, and I think Origin is actually a good thing. You might hate it, and you might even hate it rightly so, but competition for Steam, forcing them to actually get off their asses and get some customer support going that's half decent, is always a good thing. I would even say Uplay is a good thing. And that's only because by existing, it might actually put some pressure on Valve to get their act together. Since Steam support, you're barely gonna need it, but if you need it, good luck. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Waiting like a bunch of days for a scripted reply in Russian when you ask them in French is not great. So yeah, that's... But enough about that. I'm not gonna, put the EA hat on here too much, because definitely not a flawless company. And I'm just biased. I like the people that I work with. It was a great work environment. And a lot of the people that work there, like the majority of the people that work there, are really into video games. All sorts. Like, not only Battlefry and FIFA 15, 16, 17, 18, 500. All of them. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Right, so... Where was I rambling towards? I was initially talking about how I ended up in this situation that I can't really make new games right now because I can't download them. So as much as I would have liked to make a sort of video about just a new sort of one-off game or something as this sort of 1,000 subscriber special, super extra special, I would have liked to do that, but it's a problem. Wait, why do I have 41 of these? Didn't I run out? Hang on. Okay, go away. Let me see. What did I run out of? I didn't run out of nails then? Okay. Let me check that again. I could have sworn I was out of nails. What was I out of? I think I was out of nails. Okay, it's just a copious amount that you get for making... Well, that's fair enough, I suppose. Okay, let's make this a bit of a bigger room. Wow, I'm really not good at this rambling thing. I keep forgetting my train of thought completely. So, yeah, sorry about that. I don't know where I was again. And it doesn't really matter because, like I said, I'm not that interesting. Right, where are we? Let's put this in bend and then make this sort of a big storagey room type thing. Might actually want to put an entrance down here as well, I think, maybe. Let's see... Give me a wall. And another one. And then we can maybe put down a door. Can we? Yes, we can. And then we're going to collide with these things, okay. Maybe we should empty these out if I can. I need to build more containers. Right. I also need to build more floors, because this is looking terrifyingly bad. Right, yeah. So... One thing I'm not sure about is, like, how did I end up with this amount of games that I would never have honestly played to that extent before. I think it sort of happened because as I'm specifically talking about games like Balrum or even Legends of Eisenwald. That's to a lesser extent because that I have followed for some years during their development, and I was really keen on seeing that through to release ever since I saw it on Splattercat's channel. But mostly just things like Balrum because I never really followed these things to the extent that I maybe should have. Like, I wouldn't really have been aware of Balrum, and if I'd been aware of it, I might have just maybe played the the AAA game du jour in the month that it came out, just because I didn't really get the potential all that much before I started Let's Playing, and I wasn't really aware how far indie games had come, to like how far they pushed the envelope, especially the whole old school, like, you'd almost have to call it a scene at this point, where it's just like these incredible titles getting made, and just, yeah, of course you have to get used to some of the game mechanics, and that's something I'm fundamentally not brilliant at. I would be the first to admit. In some cases, it's just I get too frustrated way too easily, and I'm just happy that the YouTube thing gave me a different perspective on all of this, because I started researching games mainly because I figured, like, what's the point of doing, to take a very preposterous example, like another Minecraft Let's Play. Now, to be very upfront about this with you, I've never played a minute of Minecraft in my life, but just, as a thought experiment, like, what's the added value here? I mean, you could argue with the format in general, what's the added value? But I do believe that there is some value to be found in these videos, and for me it was always just like, there is so much interesting stuff out there that I've found now that I've started digging a little deeper, and maybe it's a thing for other people as well, where I can occasionally show a game off on the channel that one or two of you have never seen before or heard of before, and you go like, hey, this actually looks kind of cool, and this guy was actually dumb enough to play it before I bought it, so I can get a decent impression on it, if it's any good or not. And that's how I ended up picking a lot of the games I'm playing, just on the principle of wouldn't it be cool to have videos on this, because if they are out there, in many cases they are very, I don't know, in some ways I think there are videos made about this sort of game on YouTube where I feel like the uploader doesn't care all that much, and I know it's a bit of a blanket statement, but there is just a certain level of patience maybe required, and sort of a willingness to overlook a bit of jankiness that not everyone has. And I felt like, okay, I'll just sort of I'll take the hit. I'll go for it, and it's been a pleasure. Like I've had just a game like Serpent in the Stacklands, something like that I played as the second game on the channel. That was just a brilliant game. I would heartily recommend. That was exactly the opposite message there. I would heartily recommend checking that out if you can live with the graphics style. It's great. Like, it's really good, and you're not gonna regret giving it a go. I'm fairly sure you're not. So yeah, that's sort of how I ended up with these maybe somewhat obscure titles that, partly it might have been... Oh, I actually drank that now. Whoops. Partly it might have been just trying to find my niche at the start. But I'm not actually that calculating. I wasn't that smart about it. That's just sort of a side effect where at some point you realize, oh, this is actually also an advantage to cover these games, because if no one else does and they launch, then people will, find the channel, and maybe they'll stay. And I think that's what a fair amount of you did. So I'm grateful you chose to stick around for, well, it's like almost a year now, admittedly, of which I didn't upload all the time, and I do intend to not let that slip again to the extent that I have. But yeah, it's, you know, it wasn't necessarily completely by choice that I dropped off the radar for a while. But yeah, it's just an interesting experience all around. Like, having done this for a while now, I would never have anticipated how quickly you would end up in contact with the people that make these games, how positively your videos will be received. Like, I was a little apprehensive because, you know, if you've seen perspective of some developers on Let's Playing, like more recently it was what was it called, that Dragon Cancer or something, where the developer basically went like, the format is a little off for a game like mine, and I'm not even sure I have enough information to fully disagree with him. Then I was more thinking along the lines of, well, these guys probably don't want me to do this to their games. It might help that I don't really monetize, and I don't really intend to monetize, so that could be a thing that helps perception there a little bit, maybe. But I don't know, it's always something I try to do my research on initially before I start a game, because I'd rather not do something that devs don't want. Because, yeah, there's so many other games out there. Why do it? That would be kind of pointless. And yeah, this is just an interesting side aspect of it all, where it also, I think, comes with a little bit of a sense of responsibility, where if you're aware of the size of a game and that there aren't that many videos out there, and you're covering it sort of in a half-assed way, or you're starting raging at its game mechanics right away, that's what people are going to find if they are on Steam. And if the developers are watching, it's sort of like a bit of a slap in the face. That's not to say that you're supposed to be pulling all the punches, but I'm not doing reviews, so I'm not really inclined to bash the games that I'm playing. If I find a game that I play is just not working for me, I'll just not play it. So it's sort of a win-win situation. Like, if I put it on the channel, it's usually something I'm quite into, and then it's also a bit of a nice situation for I guess the people that made it, because there is some coverage that isn't something that's been put out officially, like something that developers made themselves. So there is sort of a secondary source out there that can tell people, hey, look, this is how this game plays, and this is what I think about it, and I kind of enjoy it. And while I can't promise that you will enjoy it, I'll definitely recommend that you give it a go, because A, there is Steam refunds out there, and B, these games really usually aren't extremely pricey. It's always just something I never really anticipated, the impact that you can already have as a relatively tiny channel on the just on the perception of a game, and also on the maybe even on the sales of a game. Like, I can count a fair amount of comments at this stage where you guys told me, hey, you showed off this game and it looked really interesting, and I picked it up, and now I'm playing it along, or I'm playing it myself, or I'm farther ahead of than you are now, noob. You know, that sort of thing. I dig that completely. I'm really happy if that happens. Like, this is sort of mission accomplished, even though it's not really my mission to shill for the games, but I'm just, like, I'm sort of rooting for the devs of something like this that I really like, and where I'm like, where I know that they're supporting it with quite a bit of fervor. Like, the development team of Balrum, for instance, is rolling out an astounding amount of content updates and like patches and whatnot, which really like great support. Like I wish some triple A developers would follow suit in some cases and not take their sweet time with the amount of updates that they bring out. Oh crap, actually really? Like I need bread or an apple? Okay. Let's just see if we can find bread and an apple to make this table. But yeah, it's a nice situation to be in where you're already fairly early on. You already have this sort of interaction potential, not only with the community, like the people that watch your videos, not only that, which is already fantastic to have, but also just getting the other side, like seeing what the actual development team is thinking or how they respond to your things. I'm really grateful, for instance, for just, you know, retweets that I get from Alexander from Atrodux Entertainment who do Legend of Eisenwald. By the way, if I may interject, I don't think I ever said this in the Eisenwald LP, but one thing that I've been wondering about, or had been wondering about and started to look into, is there is a season pass for Eisenwald, and it's about the same price. I think it's exactly the same price as all the 3 planned DLC together. So you it sort of makes you wonder, well, you know, what's the point then? Why would I pay for why would I pay 15 euros if I can pay 5 times or 3 times 5 euros when the actual DLC is out? Well, from what I've seen, it'd help them if you front load the purchase. It'd help them make the DLC or make them better. So just in case you were wondering why there is a season pass, the season pass is basically a way to contribute to the development of the DLC. And now that I know that, once Steam actually lets me lets me back into the storefront without blocking my access, I will I'll pick it up. And if you like the game and if you know that you want to play the entirety of it, give it a think whether you want to support the current and future development of the game. They'd probably be happy if more people would pick up the season pass. But yeah, that's about as far as I'm going to take my my Atrodux shilling here. Just thought I'd mention it in case you were also wondering why that season pass existed. That's sort of the reason why. But yeah, I think this is starting to come together a little bit more. Even though it's still far from nice looking, it's still, yeah, it's starting to get there a little bit more. Let me see. Can I put a table somewhere in a corner where it doesn't look too conspicuous? Let's put it there. Yeah. What else do we have actually? Decorations probably. Yeah, we'll have some of these things. And one of these maybe. Oh well. Not really fitting where I want it to be. What is this? Oh, these are lights, aren't they? Yeah. Let's put some up. But yeah, this is what you get when I start rambling. I completely and utterly fail at maintaining a train of thought, even worse than usual. Right, wasn't there a sort of a... What was it? Chicken trough. Okay, so we can actually put a chicken... Oh. Okay, that's what that looks like. Well... Is it actually trough or trough? I'm never sure. This is my nemesis word. I just can't remember how that's pronounced. So there you go. We have a chicken. Leroy Jenkins would be happy with us. At least we got chicken. Right, yeah, I think this is starting to look acceptable. And do I have any melon seeds, I wonder? And if not, where did I put them all? Corn, wheat, melon. Only... oh, 64. Right. Okay then. Let's get a planting. Because we need melons. And I think we need more wisps in a bottle as well to keep up with the slow berry production here. I actually don't have an oven for a kitchen, I don't think. Don't I? Yeah, I don't think I built one. Maybe we can do that still. Let's see. What do we need for that? Where is it? Is it somewhere here? Foliage trees? No. Specials? No. Crafting tables. Okay, so this is... let's put that here maybe. And can we put one of these down as well? We can. Oh, cool. Okay, nice. And maybe this one outside. What are we missing? Wood. Okay, we're missing wood. Do we have no more wood somewhere in here? I wouldn't be so sure about that. We can still chop some because there is enough trees around here. Looks like we're actually out, but that's fine. Right. So... yeah. This is gonna make the place look a little uglier. Maybe I should be chopping them down a little farther away from the house, but oh well. Can always grow some new ones. Let's maybe try to make some of that magic enhancing food as well. Just to see what the effects are. This is an aspect of the game that I never really delved into doing the... oh, I had to put one apple on the ground. Did you know? Interesting. Put some... no, strange meat, not really. Okay, I need that apple, so I'm gonna dump some of my stuff into a trunk somewhere. Speaking of non-indie games, actually, because that is something, besides maybe Dark Souls 2, that I've started to cover at some point, but more as a sort of self-indulgent thing. One thing I'm still pondering right now is XCOM 2, but in this case, maybe it's going to be a bit of an odd choice, not only because it's a AAA game, but because the actual series would at least try to be a little more on the competent side, since I'm at this stage somewhat practiced at the game and I could fairly easily pull off a Legend Iron Man run with Dead is Dead and bring on the herd for the first part of the game. But I'm not sure if that's something I actually want to do at the point where I can free up a slot for a series again. Because, how do you actually use that here? Do I need to have an inventory slot free for this, I wonder? God, I need to really dump more stuff. But yeah, that's something I've been wondering about for a while now, what to do about that, in case you have some thoughts on that and you have actually been crazy enough to follow me up until this point. Why not drop them down there in the comments? Like, if you want to see something like that, or you think, no, leave this to the other 11 billion... oh, this is how it works. Okay. 11 billion Let's Players on YouTube who are doing runs, then and especially like Legend Ironman runs, then be my guest. I don't think personally there are that many out there that are actually done in a way that I would like to watch. Of course, Christopher Odd is doing nice things. Marble is doing incredible things to XCOM. And yeah, I'd like to maybe give that a go. Well, like I said, I'm not really the size of channel to start messing with AAA titles quite yet. The only exception really that I'm entertaining of doing would be Skyrim, because I want to do a Skyrim series with a roleplay aspect to it. The only thing keeping me from it is I want to buy a new computer first, because then I can record with a capture card and I can actually capture ENB that way, and that way it's going to look a little nicer. So that's definitely a plan, and that's definitely coming up, but I can't really tell you when. May, June, maybe around that time. One thing I have somewhat changed my mind about is how I want to go about Balrum, because I initially figured, okay, let's just play through Chapter 1 and then maybe take a break, because it might be, you know, dragging itself out a little, overstaying it welcome a little. At this point, yeah, it may be overstaying it welcome to some extent, like not everyone is following it, but I've got too much fun with the game to take a break. So what I would like to do is use the time I have right now, where this is the main event and maybe Eisenwald is puttering along beside it, and while I can't really start up anything new anyway, I'll just try and build as much of a backlog on this game as I can to, you know, get this to completion, because I really want to play through the entirety of this game at this stage, and I don't feel like taking a break anymore. I really feel like just, you know, we'll see this through to the end, I think, and I'm quite curious where this is going to go eventually. Okay, what is this actually now? Is this is something for cooking, isn't it? Because I think I need that as well. This is looking horrendous now. Oh god. Where can I drop this down? This should be... Ugh. Yeah, let's put it here and see what it does. Oh, it's a smelter. God damn it. How do I actually use the whole recipe for... Oh, like that. Great stuff. I'm an idiot. Well, now we have a smelter. Let's see. Create a recipe. How does it work? Can we actually drag ingredients in there? Let's see. This is food, so can I put this? No. Right. Melon. And slow berries. Okay. Cannot enhance item with health rate as it restores a lot of mana. Oh, okay. This is... I think this is a bit of a pitfall here, because I think I need to tell the recipe that it's supposed to do one each. Otherwise this is going to be the snack from hell. Now let's see, can we add anything else to this? Frog, no. Buckfat, no. We can add these sort of... Modifies intelligence by 1. Spell hit and spell crit chance. Okay, let's put this in there. Oh, well, let's actually divide this as well. And then create this as a recipe. Mana regen plus hit finish. And then we can cook. Jesse, let's cook. Recipes. Create. And now we're getting it. What are we getting? We're getting mana region plus hit. 140 mana over 22 turns. Okay. Why can we not... Huh. Oh, did I actually add the 6 and not the 1? Ah, my brilliance knows no bounds. Never mind. Okay, let's do... let's do... I'm doing it again. Okay, let's do the basic one. Just basic mana regen food. Many thanks for the pointers, by the way. Many thanks for telling me this is a thing. Because, let's be honest, I would have never figured it out. So yeah, we can actually cook 14 mana replenishing meals, which is nice. Well, yeah, Skyrim. Skyrim is something I wanted to do because there was a Let's Play, one of the other first series that I remember watching by Semolf about a mage named Ingvar, where he actually played Iron Man run, which was fantastic to watch, and I encourage you to go back to it and still watch it. I would have a different RPing style. I would probably be a little more reflective on the inner workings of the character, and I wouldn't speak in character all that much because I'm a little self-conscious about that. I'm just not a great actor or anything, so I would, of course, occasionally say what my character would be saying in this situation, but I wouldn't really try to give him a voice. But I do have an idea for a character, and I've had that idea for quite a while, and even though I do say it myself, I think it's actually a pretty decent idea, and it does offer some potential for both, I guess, lore, cohesiveness, and hilarity at the same time, which I would greatly enjoy recording, and I will be doing that at some point soon. As for other things coming up, I don't know. Beyond the end of, or the mid of May, I haven't really looked yet, because until then I won't really have the occasion to be able to record anything new, because I simply won't be able to add it to Steam or just download it. So that's definitely gonna be the time frame until we see I guess a new series, and that's fine. Like, I have Eisenwald to finish, the Road to Iron Forest, I have Balrum to finish. There's no need for anything new. I'm having a blast with these two anyway. And I'd like to up the frequency of Eisenwald a little bit, because I have slowed it down a little, mainly because the game was throwing up an error due to the whole Steam offline shenanigans, and that error was on Steam's end, so it's not the game's fault, but I fixed it now, actually by using a phone hotspot to download, to validate the files, which ate up most of my data, but yeah, and I'm abroad, so yay, that's gonna be a nice bill. But, you know, anything for the channel, so my utmost respect and my my advice to see a doctor if you've actually made it this far through my ramblings. I do apologize for the disjointed nature of my talk here, but I hadn't really prepared anything in advance. I just wanted to build a house and chat about stuff for a bit while not actually sort of LPing. And yeah, that's my really low-key 1,000 subscriber thing done while also having built a bit of a house. I thank you very, very much for watching, for having watched, for continuing to keeping on watching, and I'll leave you to it. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye for now.